Don't sleep through your dream, live it at the Narrowsburg International Independent Film Festival. Meet producers, actors.
Richard Castellano, the ex-mobster-turned-actor. I'm interesting. The story sucks.
When Richie and Jocelyne first showed up, it was like some people from outer space had landed in Narrowsburg.
All of them had been in Analyze This or Casino.
We'd like to say hello to Mr. Castellano, bring this whole thing together.
It was a ghost town, but there are really people living here. You know?
They had big plans for Narrowsburg. They were going to put it on the map.
Yo, hey!
We were making mob comedy.
He said people are gonna be movie stars.
And almost everybody that went up there, Richie would go, "You're good, yeah, I like you. I got something for you in this movie."
Welcome to the Sundance of the East.
Things started to go bad while we were shooting that movie.
People began to talk, and I think they were lining up to give Richie money.
Cash was his drug.
Where's Richie? I have no idea.
Nobody knew where he was.
After the first week, all the checks bounced.
And that's when the town went from we love you to we hate you.
I came there with 300,000 cash. How many hours you work? Papa, here's your money.
When I first met him, he got money from me, so. But I didn't know where his money was coming from.
You got that money?
Everybody said they were con artists.
It was like, what else could possibly go wrong? It was a total train wreck.
Richie grabbed this guy and he started beating him. He goes, "We can't have any bums in this town. We got a festival around here."
What are you talking about? Are you sure you know what you're talking about?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. How's it going? How are you? Good. Wow, is that so this is your new home?
Yeah. Let me shut the window though, because I'm like, it's rush hour traffic going right by mine. This is.
Whoa, what's that?
That's me. That's my sister.
Okay. Oh my God.
Back in the 1960s.
Hilarious. Amazing.
Yeah, I found I'm finding everything because I'm finally like unpacking years of, like, I had stuff because I've been living in the city and, this little tiny space or that place, and my stuff has been in one place or another, or just in boxes or storage. So I'm like, finally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no.
So where are you again? Tell me.
I can't disclose. No, I'm kidding. I'm near. I'm in Tivoli or Upper Red Hook, I guess it's called.
Oh, it's so confusing. There's Red Hook, Brooklyn, and then Red Hook upstate. It's just, how are we supposed to?
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is day 5.
Wow.
And
so what prompted? Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much kind of what you would guess to some degree. I just had been wanting to get away from quarantining in the city. Plus, it was just like, and then my dad passed away, and there's thanks. Yeah, it was just like a number of things. It was like, and I just realized I need to get a new apartment anyway, and then I just didn't want to. I wanted a place that I felt like, I could afford, and I don't want to, live like this. I just couldn't. It was still so many factors happening at once. And the other thing is my mom, she's also kind of suffering from pretty advanced dementia. So I can't get in to see her. It's not a happy story in that way. But so I'm just sort of, but I'm not too far, a couple of hours. I could be in the New York. So
sounds nice.
It's really nice up here. Yeah, it's it puts me in a good mood when I'm just running my errands and I'm going through these little towns. And I drove down to Tivoli, which is so it's this very small bit, very just storybook kind of town. And and then you just keep going down the road and you're at the Hudson River. You know, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Very jealous.
Well, you know, it's got. I mean, of course, there's going to be other. You know, and I know the other reason I chose this area is because I actually know like quite a few people in this area, and I've been coming up here over the years. Okay. Like if I couldn't go to Narrowsburg because I just don't know anybody in that part of the state. you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean,
yeah,
I chose this, totally. Yeah, I mean, I chose this area because I knew I had a built-in social life that I can't see. You know?
Right. Someday you have a social life there when everyone has social lives again.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm seeing as many people. Actually, I'm seeing more people because you can kind of. I saw some people. They had a little welcoming thing for me the other night, and that was nice.
Yeah. It doesn't seem easier with big backyards and porches and
and like a lot of the restaurants have space in the front, like real space. Some of them. So, or they'll have like a little parking lot, or they'll have like a garden in the front, so they can actually put out, like, you know, they can really run their business, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's here. You see tables just squished in every spare corner.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been an advocate for like really just relaxing any kind of sidewalk restriction.
Yeah. Totally.
Like just let these businesses do what they can. Now, of course, everything's stopping again. Well, maybe indoor. Maybe just indoor.
Yeah. Just indoor, but still.
Yeah. Can you imagine like you're barely holding on, you own a restaurant, and then you're given the green light, and then like the second day you're told, nope, we're pulling the plug.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's insane.
Yeah. How are you doing, Martha?
I'm good. Yeah, I've actually just been super busy because I am working a job for Jigsaw right now. It's just the schedule is crazy and
That's Alex. Is that Alex Gibney?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fun job, but yeah, it's definitely I have been like working a lot, and I went down to Alabama to film, and I went down there for about 3 weeks actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was very funny. We planned. We're not like, you're not using this stuff, right? This is
just stuff. I mean, I would, but if you're telling me you don't want to, then I won't.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's informal. You know, my podcast. You can get. We're just shooting the breeze, and then we also squeeze in all the pertinent stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
But I totally don't have any problem leaving anything out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I just say like, I mean, if it's for the podcast, I just say I'm working on a very exciting show for Jigsaw.
Then we'll leave it at that, and then
which I am.
But now you can. But now what you tell me now can be off the record.
Okay. So yeah, I would just not use any of the stuff about it being a crazy schedule, etc.
Oh right, yeah. Because
yeah.
I know Alex Gibney is a big listener to the show, and
yeah. No, I would just maybe not. Yeah.
No problem. I'm happy to oblige.
If we're recording now for real, then I'll. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm happy to oblige. You know, I'm not going to go out of my way to put you in an uncomfortable situation, unless, of course, you cross me. Then. No, of course. I didn't realize we were recording for the podcast. I never know when it's really real. Well, it's going to take a little bit. I mean, I'll edit it. And then, people sometimes will write in afterwards, oh, I said that part where, maybe they were uncomfortable with how they worded something. And I was happy. Yeah. I'm not trying to no, I'm a pure journalist. That my journalistic ethics wouldn't allow me to. Yeah, I'm trying to support you, so I'm not going to leave something. Yeah, totally. You're not doing gotcha journalism, exposés. Not unless it pays. Then I'll do it. Right. Well, that's true. That's good. I like the mercenary approach. Yeah, I have my standards. Come on. Of course. I mean, come on. So what's the last time? So the last time we saw each other was as Camden, do you think? Yeah, no, wait. No, I saw you briefly at Doc NYC.
at a party that I almost didn't get into, but some let me in at the last minute. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember.
It was, I think it might have been the opening night party or something, you know, one of the many parties that seemed like they had took place a long time ago.
I know,
in a different world.
There's probably Doc NYC that caused the pandemic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Spread the word.
Film festivals in general may have been responsible. I mean,
that's true. Yeah. Don't you? I mean, it's I mean, it's okay. We missed a year. It's like, it sucks. Like, it's nice to be able to go to some festivals, and you know, last year I went to quite a few that I don't typically do that, but I go to, you know, a certain number, but I actually went to quite a few new ones last year, including Camden. I hadn't been before. And so I was hoping to continue that this year. That was kind of the fun, is like visiting new places, but always running into it. And then seeing some old friends there kind of gives you a little bit of a, you know, a level of comfort, you know, in a new environment. It's
totally, yeah.
But anyway, it's just, so that's a shame. And of course, you know, I just feel bad for all those organizations, absolutely. And I'm hoping it gets back next year. But, you know, then again, who knows what festivals, like, if they'll change at some level, because, you know, does it make sense for people to be flying all over the place? I don't know. But I think it's a great way to just, you know, support the community of filmmakers. And, you know, so I hope they continue in the way they've been, at least to a great degree.
I hope so. Yeah, I know. It's like now we feel nostalgic even for like scam film festivals, like those, you know.
Well, that's a smooth segue there. That was a very smooth segue. Like I told you that a few weeks ago I was technically in my father's apartment. I'd gotten there because I thought I was going to have to clear out his place, and you know, he was clearly not coming back to the apartment, so we thought we might get him into either a nursing home or best scenario into an assisted living type of situation. But, you know, obviously didn't happen. But I was there, and I based myself there because I had to go see him a lot, and he was in and out of different places nearby. And then also I had to pack his stuff and figure out what to do with everything, get the apartment closed out. And then, of course, COVID-19 happened, and I was quarantining there with my son. And then finally, in the last, you know, month or so, I finally did clear out of there, and I found this place. But this neighbor, everybody was, you find out who, my dad talked to these people and became very friendly. And
really?
So there's a young couple next door who I talked to quite a bit. And they said, you know, I'm only telling, you know the story already, but I'm telling because we're recording the podcast. But and he said, I was telling him I'm moving upstate. And he said, oh, where? And I told him where. And he goes, yeah, we were just upstate a few weeks ago. And so I said, oh, okay. And he didn't remember the town's name. So he started to look it up on his phone, like probably in an email or something. I don't know. And finally found it. He goes, oh, you ever hear of Narrowsburg?
It's so funny. I love that.
Yeah. I said, I don't know where to begin answering that, because are you a friend of the Scam Festival? I said to him.
Yeah, the famous. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like, now that the film is actually out, you know, I really was like, wow. Like, it's funny how the name of the movie is just the name of the town. They're very kind of them to let me borrow the name of their town for the movie, since I guess it'll be pretty heavily associated from now on.
For better, for worse.
Yeah, totally. Hopefully for better. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess we should retell the story again, because for new listeners who haven't listened to our last episode, where you had, I think, was it your premiere there? Yeah. It was.
I know my premiere was at Camden. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we did we do the podcast in Camden? No, I think what we did is we did it afterwards, but we set it up, but we made it like it was. Did we do it at Doc NYC then? Or did we fudge it, pretend like it was coming from Camden? Like,
I think that it was. I can't remember what our story was, but I know we did it a little while after Camden.
Yeah, but that's where I saw it, and that's where it premiered, and so anyway. So obviously, on that conversation, we talked a great deal about the story about it, but I think you should probably do a little capsule synopsis for our listeners, Martha Shane.
Oh, yes. Well, so Narrowsburg is a film that I made, and it's about basically a pair of con artists who moved to a tiny town in upstate New York. And they were both people from our very own film industry. One of them was kind of a more of a mafioso-turned-actor, and the other had run film festivals in the past, and so they went up to Narrowsburg, and they told everyone in this town that they were going to start a film festival that was going to be bigger than Sundance, and they were going to make a gangster movie that was going to be kind of like analyze this, like a mafia comedy kind of thing.
Shot in Narrowsburg, right? With mostly or entirely rather with casting from the town, the folks in the community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so everyone got very excited.
They started coughing up the dough, the moolah.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone was thrilled, and then it all unraveled from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt what was his the husband?
The Richie.
Richie, of course. Richie didn't hurt that Richie was very charismatic.
Yes.
Persuasive.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, definitely. And Jocelyne was kind of,
the wife.
She had a French accent. She was, a little bit mysterious.
Exotic.
Many people describe her as very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That was the memory of the two of them.
Yeah, sort of brought a little bit of urbane, and then I don't know, like international.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Right, and then there was one young man who was, I guess, a burgeoning actor, who was named Zach.
Yes, Zach. Zach Storponte was the first interview that we did for the project way back when. And he was an aspiring actor at the time. He actually starred in the film that they made, and then he's gone on to actually become a filmmaker, film editor, podcaster. He's done a lot of...
oh, wait a minute. He does a podcast too?
Yeah, he's huge in podcasts. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
He did a podcast called Crime Town. So
okay. Before that, he did my podcast.
Oh, sorry?
But I said before that, he was a guest on my podcast.
True. That may have been his first brush with podcasts, for all I know.
It might have been. I think we may have done it in his apartment. It's a while. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But speaking of a long time ago, I do remember, and I know we kind of maybe also mentioned this, that the Narrowsburg, again, which is the name of the documentary, and by the way, why don't you tell people real quick how they can see it?
Yeah, so
really entertaining. It works as like a work of fiction almost. But go ahead. Like it has all the intrigue and comedy that entertainment value.
Oh, you're so kind.
Just does.
Yes, you can watch. You can watch on Amazon, iTunes, or Vudu. And we also have a brand new trailer out, so that's exciting. And that you can watch on Vimeo or by Googling it, or yeah.
All right. Well, we'll play it like the audio from it, eating in and out of the podcast. But
nice.
Yeah. So I was going to say, oh yeah. So I think I brushed or went over this a little bit when we did the podcast in Camden, but but that it started as a different kind of almost a different project, right? Because you were originally just focusing on Jocelyne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
after later on when she had I think rented, again quote marks, I used them before when I when I said Camden and nobody saw it, but when she rented equipment from Rooftop Films, right? And so you and Dan were going to create this documentary about the kind of unraveling the whole scenario or mystery around her then, but it turned out that it became an even bigger story, which ended up being Narrowsburg. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I think I'd say just over time, I just became more and more drawn to what had happened in Narrowsburg and the themes of the story that were crystallized there. So it shifted dramatically, I'd say.
Right. Were you? I mean, these guys. You got Richie on. I know. I'm not going to say what happened to him. But you were you ever like you're so deceptively unassuming or polite and charming and sweet and attractive.
Oh God, you're making me sound like a con artist.
And so were you ever kind of like that? Only can help you, maybe, right? You're so genuine. You can't fake your personality. You. So I think that, especially if you're kind of dealing with corrupt type of people, that maybe they feel a little bit more like they can open up to you. Is that? I don't know.
I don't really know. I mean, I
maybe
think
they're just ready to open up. Like put them in front of a camera and they'll spill the beans. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say why they agreed to talk to me or why they were so open. I think I try to be non-judgmental towards people to the extent possible while still asking tough questions about what happened. And it was genuinely entertaining to be around both of them. So I think you could find. So I think that I enjoyed the process of interviewing them and talking to them and getting to know them and
But you're going to get the information out of them. You could persuade them if they're trying to I don't know, hem and haw or kind of just not be straight. You'd still be able to persuade them to come clean or whatever. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I would certainly do my best. I don't feel like I'm it's not like they both were the same and both confessed everything to me, necessarily. I'd say Richie was extremely open about everything that happened because he also had a kind of story about himself, which was a redemption story. And that he had this tough life, made these mistakes, but he was different now. And then Jocelyne, I think she actually, I'm not sure how open she really was, though it's hard to know. I think, what I learned from this is actually really that you really can't, you can't always, without being in someone's head, there's really no 100%, way to understand their motivations or what they're going through.
I guess so, but I mean, you can that they're holding on. If your subject is holding on to withholding information from you, that's kind of vital to you telling the story of what you're trying to tell. You can say things like, well, we're trying to do a documentary, but I mean, if you're not gonna, if you're gonna not divulge stuff, I can't really include you in the. I guess we have to move on. I mean, there's ways to kind of, I don't know if the word manipulate is the right word, but persuade or navigate that. I'm just wondering how comfortable you are with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, it's basically like you're building a relationship of trust in any like interview and in the relationship overall.
As a
and
foundation.
trying to, sorry?
As a foundation. Once you have established the foundation, then you start pushing, right? I mean, if you, I guess, or, you know, maybe you don't have to push per se, but you shy of that, you know, I mean, so.
Yeah, you certainly, you know, you ask, you explain why you think it's important for, you know, us to understand that. I think that's usually important. You ask the same question in 20 different ways.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much the game.
No threatening. No
threatening. Really, there's alas, yeah, it's just, there's really, like, if I said to them, oh, you know, well, if you don't answer this question, we won't be able to let you, you know, we won't be able to have you in the documentary, they might say, okay, cool, you know.
Yeah, right. It seemed like, I don't know, I mean, obviously some people were very, very, lost a lot of money to Richie and Jocelyne, right? Did they take it, were they almost, it's almost as though it was a gift that you made this documentary, because it sort of, you know, set the record straight. It gave people an opportunity to sort of process, or maybe it was a cathartic experience for the folks in the community after, right? And then you actually showed it at the film right there, right? So they got their evening.
Yeah, that was very exciting weekend for us at the Big Eddy Film Festival in Narrowsburg. And yeah, I think we were the opening night film. We played to an audience of like 400, which was amazing. And then we had a second screening that took place in the theater that I had shot in while I was making the documentary. So that was pretty surreal. But yeah, it definitely felt like there was like a kind of like catharsis in the experience of seeing it for the town, and people coming up to me and saying like, this brings closure. Also lots of like, you know, disagreement about like, oh, I think it, you know, it was a very accurate portrait of them, to some people saying, I think you were too kind to the con artist, or I think you were too this or that. And so of course, I mean, I love that, because like everyone who was there has their own strong opinion of what happened and why and all of that. So it was fun to like, get to hear people's reactions to the film. And I think for some people it was very emotional, and some people,
right,
it was more in the past.
Did you, you didn't shoot anybody afterwards, right? Like anybody after having
I didn't. Yeah, that would have been funny. Just keep making the documentary, movie about the movie. I didn't do any filming myself, though. I think the Q&A was filmed by the Big Eddy Film Festival. But yeah, so.
Right. And the Big Eddy Film Festival replaced the Richie and Jocelyne's festival.
Exactly.
Which had one year.
Sorry?
Which was a one-time festival.
It actually took place 2 years. It was a long con. But yeah, then after that, for about 10 years, they couldn't say the name, the words film festival in Narrowsburg is what I was told, because it has such negative associations. But then after 10 years, Big Eddy decided to take their chances and launch again. And I think now film festivals have a better reputation there.
A new generation.
A new generation, exactly.
Okay. That's great. Any other developments since last, when was Camden? Like the very end of the summer or something like that?
Yeah, you know, Camden, it was in September. And then we went to Big Eddy, and then we had a great screening at Doc NYC, which was huge and sold out, and like very fun to have everyone, you know, New York people see the film finally. And then basically, I mean, it was kind of like we were gearing up for more festivals, and then pandemic
Right.
hit. So
right. Well, in a way, you're lucky, right? Because not in a way, you were. That you got the film out, just squeaked it out before.
Definitely.
So you had a good, great premiere and a number of great. Did you get it? So after Doc NYC, I guess there's a break in festivals, right? It slows down a little bit, right? For the holiday.
Yeah, there was some stuff in other stuff that was going to happen. Yeah, it was more like starting up it again in like February, March. We sneaked a few. We won. Yeah, we won the the jury award for best documentary at San Francisco Indie Fest. That was, I think, our last festival pre-pandemic, and then
congratulations.
Actually, we just won the jury award for best documentary at the Calgary Underground Film Festival. So that was exciting.
Was that done online?
Underground Spirit. Yeah, it was a festival that I would have been at, but tragically it was moved online. But no, it was awesome that everyone's kind of reconceiving how to do all this.
Everybody's reconceiving how to do everything. I mean, not just festivals, right? Like
no, everything. Everything in life.
I guess
so. Yeah, but it's fun to finally have a trailer. I'm excited. I don't know. It's just there was something very fun about working with our trailer editor and seeing how someone else sort of
you didn't use Jeremy Workman, did you?
No. I worked with a great guy named Matt Gelb, I think.
Gelb?
Sorry, I don't know. I haven't said his last name out loud. Matt Gelb.
Family, the Gelb. I wonder if he's related to the New York Times Gelbs.
I don't know. I know
not
he's
putting you on the
related
spot.
Yeah. No, I generally have no idea. But
and who's
I think he does have a brother who's a filmmaker.
Who's your distributor?
Gravitas.
Gravitas. But I have to say, people should absolutely tune in and watch Narrowsburg, because it is, I mean, at the expense of a lot of people that lost money and had their hopes built up for this festival some years back, it makes a great entertaining story in the end. And then isn't that the most important thing after all? I'm sure even, no, I mean, and the subjects in the film got to, finally got their, to tell their story, and, you gave them that opportunity, and Richie and Jocelyne certainly seem to have, had to reconcile their choices to some degree anyway.
Yeah.
Richie had a little bit harder, right? You don't want to say what happens there, but
no, it's definitely,
it's fun. So
I think in the end of the film, someone talks about how even though they did suffer this kind of, a lot of people lost money, a lot of people lost a lot of people's dreams were kind of hurt by this, that also they are left with this great story that they can tell.
That's right. And the document. Right, and then they if their service says, "Get out of here! I don't believe you." Then they can say, "Let's go to the videotape."
Exactly.
Proof. Right. Exactly.
It's a documentary, not a fiction. It's real.
Thanks
really
to Mark. Thanks to Mark.
Yep.
And so there, I'm really hoping that some of these theaters, like here in Rhinebeck, which is the next town, well, 2 towns over, I guess, since you have to go through the town of Red Hook, which is nearby where I am. And then you get to Rhinebeck, and there's Upstate Films, which is, I'm sure you've been to, right? Have you been there? Did you freeze up on me? Martha? Uh-oh. Oh, I lost my internet. Sorry, honey. I'm sorry. There you are.
Hey,
that was my fault. I can confirm that my internet just decided to turn off for a second.
Oh, okay.
I didn't notice it, but it's weird. It just sometimes just stops, and then I'll see, oh, and then I
It happens to me all the time too. Yeah, I don't know.
What I was saying was, I'm right. Have you been to the Woodstock Film Festival? Ever?
I have not. I would love to go though.
Well, you can't because it's not happening. No, they may be doing it in the like drive-in.
Oh, cool.
They might do the drive-in
someday.
Yeah, but there's they do it in like 5 different towns in the Hudson Valley, like in this general area. And I'm kind of in one in that area, so I'm in the middle of it all. But there's this little theater. It's called the Upstate Theater in Rhinebeck. It's so charming, and it's hard to understand how they're going to survive. But I really hope I'll do everything I can.
Yeah.
And then there's one in Saugerties, which is another, and then Woodstock has a bunch, and I'm hoping all these places really, I'm worried about it, but I think everybody will. Yeah, I think there's people will, we all love the arts, and I think people will do what they can to help support and bring these, businesses back. At least I hope so. It's like.
Yeah, all you can do is hope. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm sure like some businesses will be lost, and drive-ins will be huge for a while at least. But yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, right? That's not such a bad thing.
Driving sounds fun. I don't have a car, but.
I know, me either. Well, no, I do, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But. So people go to Apple Movies, or what was known as iTunes, I guess, right? You said, and Amazon, and Vudu.
Yes.
And see Narrowsburg.
Thank you so much.
Directed by the one and only Martha Shane. Anybody else we should mention from the crew, or?
I had a great I had a great crew. I feel like I could mention them all, but
I know if you leave anybody out. Is there a website, or is there like a what kind of, where can we send people to see the trailer, etc.? You mentioned that you have a great trailer.
If you go to narrowsburgfilm.com, you'll find all the info there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. That was so nice to talk to you.
Thank you. So good to talk to you too. Good luck.
We'll do it again. Thank you.
Unpacking.
I'm almost done. I've got down to the very end. Now that we're done with the podcast, so
yes.
I'll even hit stop.